Chuck, I know you all said that you expected Andrew to have a much bigger role this season, but just being able to see him go out there and perform and play as many minutes as he did and have that sort of high level of energy, what was that like for y'all?
Well, just happy for him, happy for his family, and sometimes in life, when you're dealt a tough hand, it's really all about how you respond, and that's a word we use a lot in our program. And we say response is your ability to focus on the next most important thing. And for the past almost 2 years, that's what Andrew has had to do, and he hasn't been able to play basketball, the game he loves, for Texas, the school he loves. And tonight he did, and it was terrific. He was the best offensive player on the floor. He played with great energy. He played with an aggressive, confident, and loose mindset, which is something that hopefully our other guys can take and use as an example.
It's one thing to see it in practice, though, but to see him do it in a real game that really counted after all the journey he's been through. What did you feel inside of him?
Well, I was actually really emotional just the first time he went in the game. Even this is before he went and scored 20 points and went 4 for 5 from 3 and played so well. But again, just it being 23 months since he, really went out and played Andrew Jones basketball, in a Texas uniform. It's just really, really cool for him to be able to go out there and play, and for not just today to play, but to have gone through the journey he's gone through with the approach that he's had. Really excited about that. And then when he played the way he did, to be honest, Brian, I wasn't surprised. I mean, he's really always been a guy who shoots the ball very well. He's always been a guy who's got a real feel on the offensive end, and that's what he did tonight.
Did it feel like he was back to his old self a little bit?
Well, I mean, he did a lot of the things that Andrew has done in the past. I don't really, and I don't think Andrew does either, want to get caught up in comparing him now and him then. It's more about him being the best version of who he is now. And I thought he, of all the guys on our team, was the closest to that tonight. And again, he had an opportunity that he hasn't had for quite some time, and he made the most of it. And that is a very, very important lesson for all the guys on our team.
What did you make of the first defensive effort of the season?
Great. I thought the guys, the defensive effort was terrific. We got a ton of stops. They went 0 for 10 from 3, which was a huge point of emphasis coming into the game. I thought in the second half we definitely had some defensive setbacks or lulls, but I think over the course of 40 minutes, it was a really good first game, on that end of the floor, starting with effort. We threw a lot of different guys in there. I thought pretty much almost everybody contributed on that end. At the same time, there's a ton of stuff we can improve on.
If I would have told you before the game Brock and Royce would shoot the first 5 threes, what would your reaction be?
Not good. It's a fine line where, sometimes when you're open, there's a reason that you're open. But also, particularly in Brock's case, the position he plays, we want him to be able to shoot and make an open shot, and he's done that in practice pretty well. I think sometimes when you play teams, Northern Colorado did a really good job of saying, hey, Jace Febres, we're going to really limit his threes. And, certain other guys, we're going to let them shoot threes. Royce Ham, when he shot twos, he made them. When he shot threes, he missed them. It's a good lesson. Let's shoot more twos and less threes. So that'll be a conversation that we have. Not that he can't make that shot, but the bottom line is our 2-point percentage tonight was way better than our 3. Now, the way that they defended our guards on pick and roll, sometimes, like Courtney did, sometimes you got to jump up and shoot it. And Andrew was the one that was able to expose that and make those shots. Those other guys weren't as much. But I thought when we got in the paint, we were able to create some really good things for our team. We didn't necessarily always make the shots, but we created a lot of good opportunities, and that's what allowed us to score points when we were in the paint. I would say our points per possession when we touched the paint was probably almost 1.5. So we just got to keep getting better at getting the ball in there, and then we'll make more shots.
Is that 4-guard lineup, is that something that you're experimenting with, or do you think it's going to be something that's a big part of what y'all do this year?
Yeah, I think it will. I think playing 4 guards is, I've always liked playing that way. We haven't really had necessarily the personnel for it, and maybe we've had, a guy at the 4 and the 5 that made a ton of sense to have in there a ton. When Gerald comes back, he's a good hybrid because he's really a guard, but he's got good size. But tonight, being out there with Jace or even Donovan as the quote-unquote 4-man, it gives you some versatility.
What about Courtney? Was he a guy that you kind of designated, like, we want you to be someone who hits the defensive glass hard? Because obviously the guards have to help out a lot.
Well, we tell all our guards they got to rebound down when the shot goes up, and he did a good job of flying in there and rebounding, getting a 9 defensive rebounds is huge for our team. We're going to have a lot of guys out on the perimeter when we're playing teams that like to stretch the floor, so we've got to fly in there and rebound. He did a nice job of that.
For you on the sideline, what's it like watching Coach Yaklich make a lot of the defensive calls and watching that system finally work against another opponent instead of your own team in practice?
Yeah, it's been something that we've been building ever since June when the guys got back, and the foundation is effort. Just playing with great effort, and Luke's done a terrific job of, making sure the guys have a really clear understanding of how we're trying to guard this or how we're trying to guard that. But at the end of the day, we learned this in the second half a little bit. It's about having the ability to contest an outside shot, but also move your feet and keep a guy out of the paint. And our guys, for I would say 3/4 of the possessions of the game, did a terrific job of that. And then there's some areas where we need to keep getting better.
3 or 4 last ones,
You
please.
mentioned Donovan doesn't lack confidence at all.
No.
You never quite know what you're going to get from these guys the first time they're out there. But did you expect that from him? Were you surprised?
I'm not surprised. He's a guy that he just goes and plays. I liked his approach. He was not scared at all. He was not overwhelmed. I think we had some other guys that had some real jitters. Didn't really see that in him. I think his aggressiveness really helped us when he went in the game. He did kind of get a little tired as the game wore on. These games, I think for freshmen they're long, and so he's going to have to develop the sturdiness to be able to be just as aggressive and just as tough-minded in the second half as he is in the first half. But I really liked his mindset. We told him if you prepare the right way over the last the couple practices going into the game and shoot around, then you're going to get opportunity to play. And he did that, so he deserves a lot of credit for earning that for himself.
Has he progressed more quickly as a shooter than maybe you expected?
He's always had a nice stroke. He did not shoot the ball great in the summer in our live play because he was just bombing them up from all over the place. And Neil spent a lot of time with him, Neil Berry, on just taking the right ones and being ready to shoot. Donovan's a guy who takes things literally. He said, "Well, you said be ready, coach. So I'm just doing what you said. I'm just letting it go." But he's become a little bit more discerning, and he's a guy that can make shots when he catches it in rhythm for sure.
Do you think you and the way you and Luke are hammering home this closeout mentality? I think the guy said that they have to be graded on the 80% closeout, something like that. Is that what leads to 2 of 21 from 3?
Yeah, our goal was actually to hold them under 18 attempts So they got a few more than we wanted, but certainly, we want to run these guys off the three-point line. They, in their two scrimmages, we didn't get a chance to see the tape, but we heard they shot 30-plus threes in both of them. So, a team like that, when they're the most dangerous, is if you let them get going from outside. And, they made a couple in the second half, but to make them go 0 for 10 in the first half really sets the tone.
One last one?
Gerald, looked like he went through all the warm-ups.
Yeah.
What's his status?
He is still in the protocol for coming back from a concussion, but he was good today out there. We put him through an individual workout today. He went really hard. Tomorrow's our mandatory day off, so as long as he continues to progress, he should be able to practice on Thursday.